Welcome to But Make It Funny podcast, where we are unpacking life, love, and loss using humor. We're your hosts. I'm Zay.
And I'm Yessie, and
Woo.
today we'll be talking about why we laugh at shit that really ain't funny. Let's get into it. All right, we're back at it, Zay. We back at it another Saturday, another episode, episode
Yeah.
6.
Right, six episodes, y'all. Y'all don't understand how consistent we are at this point. Like, I just feel anything after five, me doing anything, I feel so consistent. I feel so consistent.
Yeah, I
Like,
don't know. Like we've had days where we just like looking at each other on FaceTime, like we want to be like, nah, we're just gonna skip this episode so bad. But Zay has really been on it. He's been like, nah, let's go. Let's do it. Let's
period.
get it
We're gonna
going.
do it. We could do it. We could do it. We could do it. Put our back into it. Is our
Period.
motto.
Period.
Um,
What are you drinking? I'm
I
drinking beer.
You drinking beer? I am drinking water. I am.
Excuse me, Zay.
Huh?
Why are you drinking water today?
I'm drinking water because one of my coping mechanisms is getting drunk. Especially on Fridays, which is Fuck Them Kids Friday. If you guys follow me on Instagram, and last night was Fuck Them Kids Friday, and I got extremely drunk. I went to two different places. I had hookah, lots of drink. I had a whole Patron tower of like a drink, and I just thought I was grown. And I have the worst hangover ever. So I am scratching and surviving because water it is today, y'all. Water it is.
Listen, that's a beverage. That is a beverage. All right. So I definitely feel you though. Like we were just talking about this before we started the episode, kind of like how we be setting ourselves up. Like we don't be wanting to go out and get that drunk, but then the weeks just be so fucking long and like so many people just be trying it that you just be needing one drink or 17. And it's like,
Yeah.
you know,
Right, because one really turned into 17. You be like, okay, I'll have another. And then the table be like, we should all take shots. And then you can't be no bitch.
you cannot. But shit is expensive. Like it hurts my heart every time I go out and I'm spending $100 like in just nothing. And I'm just like, wow.
Splitting the
Okay.
bill though. Spending $100 splitting a bill with five people, y'all. That's 500 fucking dollars. You and your friends just got the fucking drinking on. I'm gonna
Yeah.
be. You know what I'm gonna start doing? I'm gonna start being that bitch that be like, nah, I only got the orange juice and the chicken wings. Sorry, you could just
And
put
you gotta
that.
carry cash. You gotta be the cash one, so you could put exactly what your meal costs and get up and leave.
You know which friend we appreciate? We appreciate the friend that always put their card up. Like, I'll just pay with my card. I appreciate that bitch. I appreciate you. Thank you, cause I'll
Because
be
me
looking around
now.
like, damn, I don't want to pay my. I'll be having to switch money up. I'll really be having like switch money over from this account to this account to have that much of the check. Like,
No, I'm definitely that friend because I be paying with like my rewards credit card, so I want all the points. I'm like, I got it. Don't worry.
oh damn, and then it come right back. And then when they pay it, you just go take it right to the account and pay it off.
Yeah, and I get my points so that I could take my trips.
Smart
Stay,
bitch.
stay woke. All right, so today we have a new game for you that is kind of related to our episode title. Our episode title is called "Is It Really Funny?"
Mm.
And as you know, it has a little bit like of a different title structure from our regular titles, but we'll get into that a little bit later. But anyways, the name of our game today is called "It's Not Funny, But," and it's all about those things that like we know that they're serious and like we know we shouldn't laugh at it, but like we're gonna laugh anyway.
Hmm.
So we'll take turns just like sharing scenarios of like situations where we've experienced that. All right. So my first scenario that isn't really funny, but I'm a laugh are my intrusive thoughts. So like whenever I'm waiting for the train, and let me preface this, like I am not suicidal. Whenever I'll be waiting for the train and like I see the train coming, there's like a little voice in my head that be like, "Oh, bitch, you should jump in front of the train."
Mm.
And I swear it's not because like I want to kill myself, but it just be like, "Ooh, jump." Or like when I'm in the kitchen cooking, I'd be like, "Ooh, do you think it will hurt if I stab myself?"
Yeah, I definitely think people have intrusive thoughts. Yours may be preference to yourself, mine's be preference to other people. So I don't know which the craziest out of us do. Cause mine's be like, oh, what if you pushed somebody right now? Like what'd happen? Like what'd be the next thing? Like if you pushed him, like what if you punched this person? Like what if like my intrusive thoughts definitely be or like what when you carry the baby, you be like, oh, what if this baby just fall? Like, like
Just drop it like ah.
But I really think that a lot of people have intrusive thoughts, but they don't know what to call them. They just be like, oh, what the fuck about? In your head, you be thinking like, what the fuck about? And then you
Yeah.
head thinking about like, that's funny.
Honestly, I be thinking like we're all like just like one choice away from like being a killer or a murderer.
Mhm.
Like, it's so easy to decide to do something crazy. So yeah.
One choice, one prayer, one step. This close. I was this close this week for being a murderer. Literally.
Which is why he went to fuck them kids Friday and he
Yes,
was so hot.
yes.
Otherwise.
Fuck them kids Friday turned to I'll beat your mom and daddy ass Friday. Like run up, get done up Friday. Because
Period.
I just want to preface this. I just think like now these new age parents think that teachers not as ghetto as them, but y'all got to realize these teachers came from the same ghetto y'all came from. You run up on me, I'm running back up on you. Like we gonna be some what Kaya said, take me to the park, bitch, because we gonna be some swinging motherfuckers. We gonna be some swinging motherfuckers out there. We better go to the park. You hear me? But okay, here's mine. It's not funny, but I'm always the first one to laugh when somebody fall. Oh my god, the worse the fall, the funnier that shit get. Like I really be like, don't laugh, don't laugh, don't. And that's the funniest laugh. When you try not to laugh, is the funniest laugh. Like,
Yes.
bro, I cannot watch people fall because I had a coworker who fell. Um,
There you go. There you
he
go.
y'all, he uses a cane or whatever. Um, and he fell. Like I'm talking about missed everything, the step, the chair, everything just boom, boom, boom. I was like, oh, but everybody running to help him out. I ran out the room. So everybody running to him, I ran out the room because I was like, oh my God, that shit was so funny. I had to go in my classroom and shut the door. It wasn't funny, y'all, but it was funny. Like, I'm not one of the people, some of the people, they go check on the person first, then they start laughing.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
mine's is like different. Like, it's laugh and then check. And then once the person heard, I'm like, ooh, you okay? You okay? Like, yeah, that's my
Oh
least
my
funny moment.
I definitely feel it. Like when I was growing up, when my mom would want to like hit me, but she would do like a little speech before, and I'm just sitting there like just trying not to laugh because I'm just like, lady, please. Like this was when I was already like getting older, when I was like already like 14, 15, and I was just like over it all. I was just like,
Mhm.
lady, please just say what
Just
you
hit
gotta say
me.
so I could go laugh. Yeah, just hit me. Let's go. I need to go laugh.
Come
Okay,
on, run up.
wait, you wanna know something crazy? Like
Okay.
I've had moments where like it isn't funny. Like my mom beat my ass and I'm like crying hysterically. Like I would go to the bathroom and like look at myself in the mirror while I was crying and I would smile.
No, because like that first one and this second one together, I'm looking at you totally different. Like I kind of feel like you the Joker. Like I really feel like that's some Joker type shit.
No, I would literally be like this, like, and I'd be like,
Everything's fine. Everything's fine.
it's okay.
That's
Just a beating.
oh my god. That's you suppressing your trauma. You even know what you was doing at that young age.
Listen.
You didn't want to feel the emotion no more, so you start smiling. Oh my god.
We'll unpack that a little later.
Oh my god. That's some Joker type shit, girl. Not you, Harley Quinn.
Yo, like I'm really trying to sit here like why would I do that? Like what the fuck is wrong with me? Like, why would I smile in the middle of crying? Like, and it wasn't like a small cry, like it was one of those cries where you're like, you know?
And you
And
busted
then
to a
I would just
smile like,
out of nowhere it would just stop and I'd just be like, like when you look in the mirror and you feel like it's somebody else looking back at you? Like it was like that.
oh my god.
Do I sound really insane? Like
No, It's
Yeah.
not funny, but it's funny.
Somebody gonna report me or like
Like, it's not funny, but it's funny. Like, that's okay. So let me see. I don't know. Should I do one from my childhood? Okay. I it's not funny, but I always get the giggles at funerals. So I'll be at funerals, and you can ask my friends. Like we've been to a couple of funerals together, and then like if we sitting together, I'll be like, "Is we gonna cry? Or we gonna laugh?" And they always be like, "We gonna laugh." And then from that point on, like I cannot. And I think that's the coping mechanism I use now. We're gonna get to that. Like I would not be able to fucking cry. Like so it'll be all laugh. Like I will make a joke out of anything, bro. Even it's to the point that at my grandma's funeral, I caught the giggles. Cause this lady got out there and sang and the notes weren't hitting like they were supposed to hit. Like and I could and I'm in the front row just crying, laughing. And my mama looking at me like, calm down. Like I could not stop laughing. And then she caught the giggles too because I was laughing. Like, bro, it's not funny, but I don't know. I catch the giggles at funerals. Like I really don't be trying to. I really be trying to like be in the moment, be in the emotion. But then my go to emotion is laughter.
Yeah. It's because shit gets too intense when things are too serious.
Yeah.
Like it becomes a lot, and you're just like, I don't have the capacity to deal with this. So let me just laugh. I have the capacity to laugh. I could do
Right,
that.
so that's kind of a blessing and a curse, though. Like it's kind of a
Hmm.
blessing that you can always see the bright side of stuff, but it's kind of a curse that you can never really sit in the moment of an emotion because you looking for something to laugh at. Like, oh, I need to get out this emotion. Let me go laugh.
Right, right. That's very true. Oh man, all right. This was good. This was good. I love it. I feel like it was a good foundation for what we're
Mhm,
going to talk about a
mhm.
little bit later. But of course, we got to do our current events section because there's always shit going on in the world,
Shit
and we
been
can't
shitting
all
this
talk
week.
shit.
Shit been shitting this week.
Like, do we expect anything less though from this motherfucking country, from this
No,
motherfucking world? All
no.
right. So, what's going on in the news? What's going on in the news?
So first, I want to start off with Brittany Warner,
Ooh.
the WNBA player. See, you don't even know who she is.
Oh yeah. Who's? Oh,
Who she is in Russia. She's in prison in Russia, waiting up. Well, she went to she went and they gave her a trial date, which was 3 months after. But if you don't know, she got arrested in Russia because she had like a pen, like a weed pen or whatever. So they arrested her. And I just feel like they're not making it a big deal like they will make if it was a little white girl with blonde hair, it'll be a real
mhm.
national news type thing. But they're also I seen Lisa Leslie said they got word that they wasn't making it a big deal because they didn't want Russia to use her as a pawn.
Right, because for her to be locked up there during all of this shit that's going on, that is so unfortunate. That is fucking
Yeah,
unfortunate. But
and then you
then
don't know
also,
Russia.
like, what I was reading was that the reason why she's there is because she plays basketball over there because she makes more money playing there than she does playing here in the
Mhm.
WNBA. So that's like another part of it. It's like, damn, like she only over there because we don't know how to value women over here in this country. So she trying to go make money. Like, damn.
But they also she definitely making a lot of money in the WNBA, but I also believe that Russia will try to use her as a pawn to get whatever they want in this war. And then number one thing with America is they don't negotiate with terrorists and stuff like that. So like if something like this happened, America's number one rules they don't negotiate with you. They're not gonna negotiate with you. And then I keep seeing news reports that she being lost. Like they were like she's lost in the system and stuff like this. I think it was like BBC News. That's a whole different thing. They need to change their name, but yeah, BBC
I
News,
was just thinking about that too. I was just thinking in my head, like, hmm.
great news channel, huh? Like,
This
so
was not the news I was expecting to see
right,
when I went to BBC.com.
yeah. So yeah, well, she's in jail over there, and
And you
we
already
can't.
know they don't care about black women.
Yes.
So
So her trial is in
nobody's
three
gonna be in a
months.
rush to, besides her family and shit, her wife and stuff. No one else is in a fucking rush to probably get her to come home.
So
Shake it, my.
her trial is in 3 months, and they saying that she's facing up to 10 years. So we don't know if the judges, if the criminal system over there operating under Putin's request or whatever, because she is an American. So and America's Joe Biden doing everything he can to take all American money and to cripple the Putin's economy, Russia's economy because of the war. So
Yeah,
no, they might be using her as a pawn.
I don't know. Well, unfortunately, we'll just have to wait and see, but hopefully it all works out.
Yeah,
It all works
because
out.
just to think of Russian jail, like I be seeing locked up abroad, some of that shit be nice. It's like Netherlands, but like Russia, I just really feel like Russia jail is some shit, like old rusty. And then people not even speaking her same language, like
Yeah.
they probably in there bullying her because you see Olga and Elga, them some big bitches. Them Russian hoes be big, like they probably in there fighting for her life.
Helgas. Oh my
But
gosh.
then also she a lesbian, so it might be happening to her. She might be getting all the pussy she can. Um
It's not funny, but it's not funny, but
Oh my god. I'm sorry, Brittany girl. I'm sorry, Brittany girl. All right, so
Mhm.
next topic.
Speaking of black women,
Mhm.
this week we've had the the confirmation hearings for Judge Katanji. And have you seen some of the clips of the shit that they've been asking her and shit like that?
They been asking her shit from Dr. Seuss. Like if one red fish equals two blue fish, how's that making a black fish?
Bro, like it's really funny to me that like people will sit here and argue with you and be like, "Oh, no, they are doing this hearing to determine her qualifications." No, the fuck they not. Because if it
Yeah,
was about qualifications, she would have been confirmed already. Sis got more qualification than all the motherfuckers sitting on that fucking
combined,
bench.
combined.
Like it really is just like another way of just like exerting their overt racism. And like
Mhm.
you can tell like they don't hide it, they don't try to hide it. And that's why I just be sitting here like this is why we cannot believe in
You know,
government.
you know
Like
why? Because the media don't call them out. Like I feel like if media outlets would call them out for doing what they did, like anybody who had their eyes open could see that all these questions was geared around her race. Like they was like what I was seeing on TikTok, people saying like they're only picking it's bad to pick somebody to be on the Supreme Court just because of their skin color. It's been white people for 100. It's been 107 white men. What you think they picked them for? Not
bro,
their
somebody
qualifications.
somebody literally asked her, is it true that you have a hidden agenda to like infiltrate CRT into the American system? CRT being critical race theory. They dead to her face. They asked her, "Does she have a hidden agenda?"
As as a teacher, I agree with CRT. As a teacher, as a like, how we gonna learn about history then? I don't believe in like
Hey,
making the white kids in your class feel bad because some of them,
CRT is simply called U.S. history.
yes.
Okay, CRT is just U.S. history. Ain't nothing different. No, like it's all the same shit. It's all the same
And if
shit.
you teach how you're supposed to teach, unbiased, it'll all come up. All the facts will come up. All the facts are the fucking facts. You white motherfuckers are evil, y'all. And I feel like these white males in those Senate hearings use their white privilege. I felt like they tried to um just show her that I'm better than you. Like, yeah, I'm still on top. Even when she was talking, they just interrupted her. Like, that's not what I asked. You didn't answer my question. So you're not gonna answer the question. So you're not gonna answer the question.
Bro,
If this is a job interview, y'all will be sued. Like this is a job. Essentially, the hearing is a job interview. And some
right.
of these questions you asking, you can't ask in a legally can't ask in a job interview. How can they ask these questions to her legally? Because
They
this is
was
a job
literally
interview.
asking her what her religious faith was.
This is a job. It's a job interview. How can they ask this? How can they ask that legally? How can
Listen,
they ask that legally?
but this is the kind of shit that you talk about, and like people will pretend like, oh no, that's okay. Anyways, long story short, like you have a bunch of fucking white old ass motherfuckers saying that they won't vote for her. Like, okay, and water is wet because we who expected you to vote for anybody black?
Yeah. Would you
Nobody expected
that
you to do
Mitch
that. So shut
McDickface?
the fuck up. Like
Mitch McDickface?
Mitch McDickface, yeah. Like, sir, newsflash, nobody give a fuck.
His old
Nobody give a fuck.
ass. He looked like one of the founding fathers.
Bro, he is a founding father.
He
That's what
probably
these fucking old white people do. You remember in the movie, which was the Jordan Peele movie, Get Out, when
now
they was like taking their brains and putting it into new bodies. That's what these old motherfuckers in the government do because all these motherfuckers are fucking dying. Like, Not
Moral of
fast
the
enough.
story is, I think a lot more young people need to start. Young people of color need to start getting more involved in politics. I feel like the more we got people looking like us in politics, the more we could change things. Because
Yeah.
as you can see, the politicians are the one that's actually, if we're really looking at it, they are the lawmakers. They're the ones that's actually making up these laws, like no critical race theory, all this other stuff. And these young white people are getting into it. And I'm talking about they got extensive stuff they did in their background, like driving drunk, raping people, all this other stuff. Even one of the Supreme Court justices that they voted on got charged with rape as a minor, and they never brought that up in
Right.
his trial.
I don't know if you knew, but that's actually one of the qualifications for white people to be approved as Supreme Court justice.
Oh,
They have
okay,
to have some kind of criminal, you know.
yeah,
Um, yeah, that's
or it
what
won't be
they have.
right.
Yeah, yeah, but you have to
And
be
that goes
white.
back to the thing that African Americans have to be sparkly clean to even get the little taste of what they have, and they get to make mistake after mistake after mistake. Can we give them a second chance? Can
Yeah,
anybody have a second chance? But with us, it's always well, you only get one chance. You only get one
yeah.
chance. So we're gonna end
So
that by saying,
all we could hope for is that, all of the Democratic Party vote to confirm the judge. That would be 48. And then we would hope that ideally at least maybe two Republicans or three would be like, okay, I'm gonna vote for her. But honestly, probably not. And they have 50. So then that leaves two independents that we would hope would go towards the yes side. And then that way, if it's a tie, the vice president can break the tie,
break
and
the tie.
hopefully
Yeah.
it would be a yes. But
But I
you know,
also want us to. I also want us to pay attention to this because not all Democrats are for us. Like not all Democrats, even if you're Democratic, not all of them are for us. Like the advancement of us. So just pay attention to who voted what and who voted when, because But we're gonna end this by saying good luck. We wish her the
yeah,
best. Like I'm praying
yes,
for her to be the
it's
first
been yeah.
African American female Supreme Court justice.
Absolutely. And it's been an honor. Like honestly, like it's been like nice to see, a black woman. Like I'm pretty sure you saw the picture of like how her daughter was looking at her, like with such
Hmm.
pride and stuff. And like that was really beautiful to see. I don't like that she has to, have to sit there graciously taking all the bullshit that's coming her way. But,
The dumb questions. The dumb questions.
hopefully, yeah, hopefully, she gets that seat because she deserves it. Two, she earned it. Three, she's overqualified. Four, fuck white people. Thank you
Hmm.
for coming to my TED Talk.
Skipping on to a more ratchet note, have you seen from our sources? And when we say our sources, y'all already know we talk about the shade room. We love them bitches. People. So Lotto is saying that people she wanted to work with, um, were trying to talk to her for them to be on her album. Like they was trying to spit that game, like, oh, I'll put a track on your album if you fuck with me or whatever, you go on a date with me or whatever. And she was saying she didn't want to do that, but she never said who it was. But then one of the producers of the artist said it was them. So allegedly, the producer said it was Kodak Black. And he denied it, saying it wasn't him. But I don't know from how he act in the media and everything. I won't put it past him. Like I wouldn't put it past
Yeah,
him. But allegedly, they said it was him. Make sure you say allegedly. We don't got no 2 million.
allegedly.
We not Tasha K. We not paying that shit.
I don't got shit for y'all people. Damn, that's like unfortunate because like I imagine for her, she just wants to work, she just wants to make good music, and for people to basically like barter her, like, oh, I'll give you this if you give me that. Like that's that shit. That's that shit with the fucking with sexism and everything
Mhm.
else. And like he just Kodak Black gives me the ick. Like that man just
He makes me itch. I don't know why bitches talk to him.
yeah.
It's all about money though, and that's where I'm gonna end it at. I feel like it's all about money. They talk to his little
Yeah.
ugly ass for money. He's like a roach. He looks like a roach.
Oh my God. He just
And I don't like his music. Like I just don't get it. Like I don't get the hype for his songs. Like I don't get a hype for a lot of people's songs.
half the people that listen to Kodak Black are like white teenage boys that live in fucking Arkansas.
Yeah,
Okay. Like you ever been to those like music
Arkansas,
festivals?
Utah,
Yeah, like
Nebraska.
fucking yeah. Yep.
Hmm.
All
South
right,
Carolina.
let's leave him there though. Let's leave him there because I don't even want to continue. Okay,
Yeah.
so Speaking about the ongoing war in Ukraine and Russia, so there continues to be a mass exodus of people, refugees in Ukraine that are like looking to, come to the United States, go to other countries seeking refuge. And the United States has apparently like opens the door for like a certain amount of Ukraine refugees. And something that was in the news was that a popular HBCU apparently were offering Ukrainian refugees like I believe they offered them housing, but then also like free college.
Mm-hmm.
And so, damn, like some people was really upset about that because they was like, you don't even do shit for the students that are right here in your school paying tuition, but you willing to give free college to.
I
Mm.
got one thing to say about this. This is America. America does this. America wants to look like the good guy on the outside, but when you actually come into America and see all the racial disparities that we have versus other countries, it's tremendous. And then y'all won't even give black people reparations or free college tuitions for certain low income families, but we can reach out to these people and say, hey, come here and do this. Also, but that's been America. But on another standpoint, African Americans, I think we got a I would call it a generational curse that we help everybody.
Mm.
People that don't help us, we be like, well, it's gonna God gonna bless me. God gonna bless me for helping them. And they won't give us that same energy or that same grace if the shoe was on the other foot. Like if the shoe was on the other foot, and the shoe was on the other foot because Ukraine, remember they was kicking the black people off the train. They wouldn't let the black people go to wherever they were going. They
Yeah, like
told them they couldn't
African
leave.
students, yup, who were living there. Yeah. Yeah.
But now we're welcoming Ukraine refugees.
Yeah.
Get the
And
fuck.
to be clear, nobody's like, diminishing whatever, what Ukraine refugees are going through, but it's the point still stands that this is like the pattern that we always see. Like it's always we have resources, we have time to help everyone else except the communities that have been suffering the longest who live in this country. And so that is why like I have no desire to get a seat in nobody's table. I don't want to. Before I used to be like, oh, like I want to get into this institution so that I can help. I don't want to do none of that. Like
Mhm.
now, all I want to do is build my own table with my own people. I have no desire to share anything with nobody. I am. I think we need to have our own banks. We need to have our own. Like news stations and news networks. We need to
Mhm.
have our own
War
fucking.
shows.
Yup, we need to have our own everything. Period. Because and we need to start being stingy with it, like you said. We need to be stingy with it. Absolutely.
It's stingy with our resources because if a lot of our resources built America.
No, all of our resources, literally, all of them.
And
All
then you got the white people being privileged off the resources we gave you. Like now you
right.
have that privilege off you stepping from our back to our neck to our head. Like you got those privileges that we bestowed upon you because black people love. Well, I'm gonna get my blessing. If I just help this person, God gonna bless me. And they
But
will
that was
not
the
give you that
tactic,
same energy.
right? That was a tactic that they used during slavery when
Yes.
they like forced Christianity onto the slaves. Was this whole idea
Mhm.
of like, yes, suffering is okay because eventually, once you die, you will be the recipient of blessings. So basically, allow us to treat you like shit, so that when you die, you can experience all of the blessings of the world. And unfortunately, that you tell somebody something enough times, they will internalize it, and now
And
that's
pass
kind
it
of like
on. And pass it
that's what.
on.
Yeah,
And that's
yeah,
what we got now. Like we got internalized trauma. I
yeah.
love that word. Eric said, my best friend said that's my favorite word, internalized trauma. Trauma is the drink
Trauma,
word. Yeah, right.
response.
You know, but with that being said, I just feel like as a community, we need to help ourselves before we start helping others. When we all become on as people of color on an even playing field, then I feel like we can reach and help other people. Just like they gave the welcome those students, I think they could also welcome students, homeless students, or students from different backgrounds in poverty-stricken neighborhoods in America or urban neighborhoods to help them complete college. I'm not saying I'm against the Ukrainian refugees, but I'm just saying work on your own self first. Work within, and then
Inward.
reach out and help people. So
Absolutely. Agreed. Agreed. All right. Shall we move on? Or, well, we could talk about a few other things, or you want to move on?
we can talk about. Oh, I want to talk about Jocelyn being sued though.
Yes.
The
Yes.
Zeus
So what's
Network
going on with that? Can you tell
because
me a little bit more? What's happening?
okay, so apparently, Jocelyn has this show called Cabaret on Zeus Network. If you don't know, Zeus is like a app you can get, and they got a lot of different shows. Jocelyn Cabaret, they have like the Chance of Love or something like that. One Chance at Love, and then now they got like some called the Bad Boys Club, where they got like all gay boys and they in the house with gay and straight boys. They all in the house together. I kind of felt like Zeus exploits ratchetness. They exploit
Mhm.
like they fucking love ratchetness. Like ratchetness is like fighting, and then you be people in the comments like, yeah, it wasn't enough drama for me. It needs to be more drama. Like talking about shows, like why like and people just fighting, ignorant, fighting each other. So apparently at the reunion of Jocelyn Cabaret season two, one of the people like got tired of Jocelyn talking to them in any type of way. If you hadn't seen it, she talks to them in any type of way, and they're saying that it was in their contract that they couldn't argue back with her or fight with her. So all this time, everybody thinking like, "Ooh, Jocelyn the baddest bitch," but that it was in their contract if they wanted to be on the show. Well, allegedly, if they wanted to be on the show, that they couldn't fight back and argue with her. So from that, at the reunion, I guess at the reunion they're not under contract anymore. So they got, they get to saying back what they want to say. And one of the girls like got up to fight Jocelyn, and they said Jocelyn and Ballistic jumped her. So Jocelyn and her fiance jumped the girl. She had to go to the hospital for a broken rib, and now she's suing. Her and multiple girls are suing Zeus Network and Jocelyn.
Mm. Well, there was cameras at the reunion, so let us see the
Hmm.
videos.
Show the video.
Show the videos.
Also, I think, and I don't want to discredit Zeus Network because it was a network founded by a black male. But I do think that he needs to take a step back because he kind of going into that era that Mona Scott Young went in when she was getting all the hate from all the drama she was just causing on TV between all the
Mm.
black people. That's what like I feel like his
But that's
shows
my
is like
thing.
black fight after ignorant after argument after ignorant bitches is never nobody's being portrayed in a positive light on none of those shows.
No, yeah. And like I understand the appeal because it's like, oh, drama, whatever. But like at the same time, there's so much more. Like we are so much more multifaceted than that. Like why there's it's either shows about slavery or some kind of racism or shows about being really crazy and ratchet. There's no in between. There's no fucking shows just about like living your fucking life. Like there's
Mhm.
no like, so
Being natural, being human
yeah.
is all
Yeah,
his
and
talk.
of course, like, like that has a lot to do with how people perceive you because if you are somebody who obviously has been around a lot of black people, that that not every person acts in those ways. But if you're somebody who lives in the middle of fucking Kentucky and you ain't never been around one black person in your life, and every show and movie that you see portrays some kind of struggle or some kind of like ratchetness, inadvertently when you do come across someone black in real life, you will probably already in your mind make your like say like, oh, they
Biases.
probably exactly like that, so yeah. Damn.
Uh,
Well,
I was gonna say I have a question to
yeah.
and just that ratchetness of Jocelyn and everything that Zeus Network is going with. When did you realize that you couldn't fuck the pain away?
What that got to do with Zeus Network though? Oh man. Yeah, listen,
Mhm.
so I realized that shit in like maybe like the last 3-ish years or so. And it's a perfect segue because today what we're talking about is coping mechanisms. And as you know, like we created this show to talk about serious shit, but using humor. And we realized, like Zay said earlier in the episode, that for us, humor is a coping mechanism.
Yeah.
And So we wanted to talk a little bit more about what are coping mechanisms, like what are some examples of it? Why the fuck do we use them? And so
I
I'm
love
excited
them.
to talk about this.
I
I
love coping mechanisms. Like I love them. Like I really appreciate them. But you'll go crazy after a while though, because a part of coping with something is suppressing it. So
yeah.
you're actually this is how my therapist explained it to me. Yes, I am in therapy. Um
Ding.
but coping with something is just like suppressing it or switching the emotion for another emotion. So like I said, at funerals I laugh. I'm switching my sadness with laughter, but that doesn't mean that the sadness going away. I'm suppressing that sadness, so it's still in me. I'm just not having that emotion and using that emotion. And after so much of like coping with something or suppressing something, it's like squishing. It's like pushing something in the cup. Just keep pushing it in the cup. It's gonna overflow. It's gonna bust over, and then you're gonna have to deal with that sooner or later.
Mm,
And I think we use a lot
absolutely.
of different coping mechanisms. Like the question, fucking is a coping mechanism. I
Yeah.
used to use that one. I still be trying to use it sometimes. But now I'm celibate. Now I'm celibate. I'm celibate. I celibate here. I celibate there.
I celibate everywhere.
Yeah.
We don't discriminate.
Oh, we need to make a Dr. Seuss book. We need to make a Dr. That was good. Oh, I want to make a
Period.
Dr. Seuss book called Celibate.
I'll buy it. I'll buy it.
Hmm
Oh
hmm
man. So yeah, so apparently according to goodtherapy.org, coping mechanisms are the strategies that people often use in the face of stress and or trauma to help manage painful or difficult emotions. And I think something to express here is that excuse me, difficult emotions don't always have to be things like sadness or pain. Sometimes difficult emotions can be things like sometimes experiencing happiness can be difficult.
hmm
If you're somebody who's never really experienced a lot of happiness, it might be hard for you to accept that emotion and to really like, you know, feel it all. So sometimes what you might do is like you might self sabotage. So self
hmm
sabotage is a coping mechanism for not knowing how to deal with happiness because you're like, there's no way that shit is gonna go this good for me. So let me go ahead and ruin it first before it ruins itself. And so like Zay said, why do we use coping mechanisms? Why do we need them? And it's because of the fucking traumas. It's because of the traumas that we've experienced.
Period. And I think we got a whole society of people using coping mechanisms. I think comedians, their coping mechanisms is, comedy. For some of them, I think the singers, their coping mechanism is music. I think I think we need to realize in some of these songs, you listen to some of these artists' songs, you be like, oh shit, even the the drill music, the rap music, like they talk about losing people and grieving and stuff like that. But it's just on a catchy beat. But if you really just take the time back and listen to it, you see these motherfuckers coping too. Everybody is out here
Mhm.
coping. Everybody
Yeah,
out here coping with some shit.
we all coping with something, yes.
Hmm
And I think,
Even
like
the
you said,
prostitutes,
yeah,
they coping
yeah,
with dick, like they coping with sex. They probably masking sexual abuse through having more sex.
yeah. And I think,
Which don't make no sense though. Like if you're getting over sexual abuse, you still out here fucking dicks. But
no,
also,
listen, when you read the science behind shit like that, like
mhm.
it's a little bit weird and you're like,
It's
I
what
wouldn't get it, but then you get it.
mhm,
But like you said, part of like having a coping mechanism requires that you're suppressing something. Like it requires you to be pushing something down, down, down for you to get a coping mechanism because you need to keep yourself distracted. And so like a lot of things like drinking and stuff like that keep us from thinking about the shit that we don't want to think about. And what I was going to say is that like therapy basically is just like the process of like facing all of those things, like bringing all of those things to the surface, things that like you've probably suppressed for so long that you don't even know that you don't that
but
you're
you
working
suppressed it.
that you suppressed it. Yeah. So therapy is like essentially the process of doing that, of like being brave enough to say, you know what, like all of the other shit that I was doing wasn't working. I need to face what the fuck is going on with me. I need to uncover it.
I think the older you get, the more um you're gonna start to realize your coping mechanisms. Because now I be having friends like, well, I need to stop doing that, and I need to stop doing this. Like, and you're gonna realize them, but it's also if as a person you're gonna actually figure out why you made this a coping mechanism and how you're gonna work through it. Um,
Yeah.
and some of us will, seek out therapy. And I think now that therapy is more trendy now, everybody's talking about black health, black mental health. I
Yeah.
think now that it's more trendy, that more of us is going to seek it out. But also, we got to think about how our parents or great aunts, great aunties, uncles
Yeah.
use these coping mechanisms, and how
Mhm.
it develop into a family trauma, like drinking,
Right.
and then you got alcoholics all through the family, or like drug
Mhm.
addicts, and you got multiple drug addicts in your family. That was them using their coping mechanism, and then therapy wasn't always the go-to thing back then. It was
Yeah,
the
yeah.
church, and a lot of
Absolutely.
times the church really don't. The church give you stuff to help with your faith, but I think therapy give you stuff to help with like the physical being of everything, like
And the mental part too. Like
Mhm.
there's yeah, we're complex beings. So like there are many facets of ourselves that we need to work on. So like what are some of the common coping mechanisms? Like obviously we just shared that humor is one of them, right?
Mhm.
And that's what we use here on this show.
Got
Which
to,
is
got to.
why we like titled the episode like is it really funny, because like we are aware that a lot of the shit we laugh at like is not funny, but we laugh at them again because that's the technique that we use, you
Mind
know.
your fucking business.
So okay, we got humor, we said
Sex.
sex, alcohol, drugs.
Mhm. What else? What people do? Eating, food could be one. Food
Mm,
could definitely be one. That's why I'm fat. I use that as a coping mechanism. Sometimes, like if like, and that's why a lot of people deal with obesity. Like they be like, "Oh, I'm sad. Let me go get something to eat. Oh, I'm mad. Let me go get something to eat. Like, oh, I'm hungry. Let me get something to eat. Like, let me get something
yeah,
to eat. Like,
absolutely,
and that's it. It's the different things
absolutely.
like that. Wait, food is one. What else? What about avoidance?
Avoidance, yeah, yeah,
Like people
literally just
avoid
like
that.
not. Yeah, you literally just tell yourself, I'm not dealing with it. I'm not dealing with it.
Yeah, for
That
real.
is,
Fuck that. Today not today.
yeah.
That's how you know you avoid it. If your number one slogan is "Today not today," bitch, you avoiding shit. You need to stop avoiding shit. Like you
Yes,
stop avoiding shit.
absolutely.
Uh,
Sleep is one too. Like, you know, when you're just like, I don't got time to deal with none of this shit. I'm gonna just take a nap.
Bitches love taking naps,
Yeah.
and I'm bitches. I love take. I'm like, I'm just irritated. I'm gonna take a nap.
Yep.
I just
Yep.
don't know what to do. With that. I'm gonna take a nap. Self sabotage.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. We
self,
talked about that.
like stopping yourself from doing something positive. Like I'm just not
Mhm.
gonna do it because it just I don't got time to be failed again. Like I just don't got the emotional like that's even in relationships when people like they see themselves talking to somebody great and they be like, yeah, I'm not gonna do it because I just don't got time to go through another breakup. Like, damn, what if it's the one that lasts the longest? Like, what if this is
Right.
the one that you need to build you? Like,
Yeah.
and bitch be like, nah, I'm just gonna stay at home.
Yep.
Yeah,
No, because
I'm
I already
bitches.
know.
Like when I say bitches, be like, just know I'm bitches. Like,
Yeah. Speaking from experience.
and when I say many of y'all are bitches, so bitches be like, nah, I'm just not gonna do it again.
It takes one to know one.
Right.
Oh man. So what would be some positive coping mechanisms? Like, all right, what would be some good ways to deal with things instead of like just like, you know, fully suppressing it? So I think some good positive coping mechanisms would be
It's sex.
sex,
Uh,
alcohol,
oh,
drugs, sabotage, suppression, sleep. I honestly think these are all great choices.
all right, all right. I think
We ain't
yes,
shit.
like
We ain't shit.
okay. When you feeling good, go get you some dick. Stuff like that. Like when you
Everything in moderation.
yeah,
Everything in moderation. Because
yeah.
sex could be a good way of like releasing aggression or tension that you might have. You know, as long as you're like not you know what I mean? Listen, everything in moderation. You do you, I'ma do
Mhm.
me.
Like we contradicted ourselves. We just talked all that shit and then brought it. Okay, y'all, we playing.
This is why I know, but this is why we ain't never said that we professionals. We ain't never said we give no kinds of advice. Okay, so if you listen to us, that's your fault.
Yes, this is not the therapeutic office of Zaya Yessi. Like we
Nope.
don't do that. Like I will tell you that I am, you know how people got the angel on their shoulder? I'm definitely the devil on people's shoulder. Cause I'm like, do it, do that shit. Like, yeah, see,
Yeah,
at the time,
fuck.
like, do that shit, fuck them, cuss that bitch out. Like, I wanna,
Life is short. You
yeah,
might never get another opportunity to cuss a bitch out.
yeah, do
Do
that
it
shit.
now. Seize the
But I'll say
moment.
some I'll say some positive mechanisms are that helps me a lot. That's been helping me is journaling or just having a project that like a passion project that you know about and only that you working on or you and some of your friends know about, but that you've been working on. My passion project is creating scripts. I really think that I could be a comedic script writer. Like I'm talking about my show. I really feel like some of the shit I go through, I always this is the positive outcome of making your life a fucking joke, laughing at everything because it's always situations that happen, and I'll be like, I'm putting that in my show. Like that shit will be funny as hell. Like it'll always be real life shit. And I'm like, yeah, that shit funny. That's funny. Like ain't no way around it. That shit is funny, and I want people to laugh at the same shit I'm laughing at. That shit is funny. So
Yeah.
definitely journaling for me. Uh, what else?
Exercise is good sometimes too. Like I know a lot of people who,
Mhm.
not me personally, but I know a lot of people. I know a lot of people who
Mhm.
like to go to the gym because it releases endorphins and it makes you feel good. So
Mhm.
that's good too. Again, I know people, not myself.
Yeah, other people that do this.
Yeah.
Meditation.
Yes.
I started to meditate like a year ago. It helped out during a certain time, but then now like I can't do it. Like I'll be like, okay, my mind be going two different places at one. Like you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do this, you need to do that. So my meditation, and there's different forms of my meditation. My meditation actually clearing my mind is watching fucking TV.
There you
I
go.
would get invested into a TV show, like just one TV show.
Yeah.
That's kind
Yeah.
of I don't know. That's kind of it could be bad, but I would
Right,
definitely get
because you could stay the whole day on the couch just watching TV and eating snacks and then realize like,
Was
but
that
like I said,
avoidance? Was that avoidance?
right, everything in moderation.
Again,
Everything
this is
in moderation.
tricky. Again, this is tricky. This is real. It is
It's gonna
real
be
tricky.
Yes, it's gonna be trial and error. Like you're not gonna get it perfect the first time. Like
Mhm,
I know we still going through finding different ways to cope with things and stuff like that. So
mhm.
again, you do what works for you, and as long as you try to maintain awareness, like even if you are engaging in negative coping mechanisms, like at least be aware, like I know that I'm doing this and that this is wrong.
Yeah,
But I'm gonna still keep doing it. But like the
yeah,
fact that you know is already step one, okay? So
yeah.
yeah.
And then depending on how long you know, then you're gonna start changing. Like, okay, it's been 3 years since I know that every time I get mad, I suck a dick. So I'm just gonna stop getting mad.
Right, right. Or I'm gonna just start sucking dicks for fun. Because if I do it when I'm happy too, then it's no longer a coping mechanism. It's just a habit.
Mm.
Again, this is not medical advice. Do not listen to us, please.
Oh my god, y'all! And
We
this more of the show is gonna be use your coping mechanism. No, just
No, 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 no. The moral of the show is just try to identify. Right? We're not trying to make anybody change their behaviors. We just want them to try to identify
Mhm,
what coping mechanisms they have in their life.
mhm. And
That's all we want to do.
when you identify them, it's gonna invoke self change. So when
Yeah.
you identify them and you know for a long time that this is what I do when I'm this and this is what I do when I'm that, you're gonna want to change that. Like, okay, let me find a new way to handle this. Let me find a new way to handle this because
Mhm.
one of my coping mechanisms now that I know has become a bad habit is getting drunk on every Friday.
Yeah.
Because I'm over the week. Like I'll be over the week. Like I'll be like, ooh, I need a drink. And then as soon as I take my drink, I'll be like, huh. Time to turn up, fuck them kids. Ah. And then I'll come home and then Saturday I'll be sick all fucking day.
Yeah.
All fucking day. Because I didn't use that coping mechanism that'll beat my ass for the weekend. So I'm
No,
trying something new
absolutely.
starting next week.
No,
No,
absolutely. I
next week. But like in like 2 months, I'm gonna try something like it's starting summer when school over. I'm gonna try something new.
Okay. All
Hmm.
right. No, I definitely feel you. Like there's a lot of behaviors that we all have, and at first glance, your like your first instinct is to be like, oh, I ain't doing this for no reason. I'm just doing it because I like it. I'm just doing it because I like it. But then you really have to start digging deeper. Like, well, why do I like to drink every Friday? Like, why do I feel like the best way for me to relieve stress is to drink? And I was telling my family, I was like, I'm gonna do dry April because I need to convince myself that I am not a freaking alcoholic because
Hmm.
like I'd be scared of forming an addiction to alcohol. And I'm like, I need to prove to myself that I will be okay if I don't drink. And like, of course, I have days in the week where I don't drink, but like, I also have a lot of days where I do drink. So I'm like, all right, let me just, let me do this little test to make sure that I'm like,
Hmm.
you
Speaking of
know,
tests, as y'all noticed, me and Yessie didn't get that drunk this show.
we
We
didn't,
kept it
we
cute. We kept it cute. We was like, let's see how the conversation gonna be if we don't get that drunk. Like, let's
like,
see.
it's still funny. Fuck
It's
out of
good.
here.
What the fuck y'all talking about? We don't need liquor, but it helps.
But it helps. Everything in
In
moderation.
moderation, and she drank a little beer.
Absolutely.
She drank a little beer, and it's all about knowing your coping mechanisms.
Yeah. So all in all, I was gonna say you guys, but all in all, like we just want you to take some time to self-reflect this weekend on your way to work, whenever you're listening to this, and see like what kind of things do you do to like avoid, feeling or interacting with emotions that you don't want to avoid or face at this moment.
And what we're gonna do, we're gonna call it the Name It Challenge. We're gonna hashtag Name It, then hashtag But Make It funny, and name some of your coping or just one coping mechanisms that you use. The goal is to just take a step back and reevaluate your coping mechanism. That's the
Yeah.
goal. Like, look, we're not trying to change y'all. If you suck dick when you happy, girl, go out there and get happy today. If you eat pussy when you happy, brother, go out there and do what you got to do. Like, go get happy today. If you fight when you sad, girl, don't go to jail, but go, do what you got to do. But we want you to know your coping mechanism. That way, when time does come and you feel like life is becoming more overwhelmed, you can take a step back and say, maybe it's overwhelming because I use this to cope with this, and it opens up a Pandora box of cause and effect.
Yes, absolutely. And so, thank you again, obviously, for tuning into another episode. Tune in 2 Sundays from now on April 10th for our next episode. And as always, we got to leave you with something to think about.
Yes, give it to me.
And so, Zay, you might have seen this question floating around social media because it has sparked a bit of a debate. So, are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Do you think
Mm-hmm.
there are more doors or wheels in the world? And with that, we bid you farewell. Thank you for tuning in.